This, you see, just to have an idea that everything is fine is the best way of jumping into the devil's den. And that's what has happened with people, that they never doubted anyone. And I don't know from where do people get these ideas in everybody's life. Even Christ, he took a hunter in his hand and he was whipping all the people. He was love, he was compassion, no doubt. But he did whip them. He also said that don't throw pearls before the swine. His compassion had a special purpose, which I will tell you just now, why he got himself crucified also, which is a very important thing. But when we just say that everything is fine, everything is good, the reason is we do not want to face the reality. Because perhaps maybe we cannot understand that there could be anything bad. But after realization you discover that yourself there are problems. Yourself there's something wrong with you. Leave alone others. There are problems within you which you have not seen and faced. Perhaps there are problems within you which you don't want to see in others, because then you will not be able to justify them. But after realization you get out of yourself. Like this sari I am wearing, if I am not identified with it, I see a spot, I would like to clean it. I see it, I want to clean it. I don't say it's a good thing to have the spots there. But supposing I am identified, I'll hide it. I'll say, oh, there's nothing wrong, everything is all right. There are evildoers, not one, but so many these days that you have no at all idea. If you had, you would not have lost so much.
Is there such thing as a conscious evildoer?
Beg pardon?
Is there such thing as a conscious evildoer?
What's it?
Would you be able to just leave your questions till the end? Mataji will invite questions at the end.
All right. Now, the thing is, whatever happens to us in our consciousness is only limited to our human awareness. Whatever we see in our human awareness, at the time when Krishna came, we got our human awareness. In that, what do we have? Only 2 points. One is our superego, which is our conditioning. Another is our ego, which we have achieved as a myth, that we have done this, I am that, I like this, you like this. So we are only 2 things, either superego or ego. We wobble between the 2. The third thing which should be within us is our spirit, heart, in the heart. And for that, the central point is the point by which we balance between these 2, between the desire and the action. We go on balancing in the center by understanding what is the best. For example, a person drinks a lot. He kills himself by drinking. His son need not read any book to know that drinking is bad. He knows that it is bad. His father is killed because of drinking. So he takes a life which is very much with moderation towards it. You start learning by so many experiences, right and wrong, how to be in the center. That's all you can learn. With human awareness, you can only learn how to be in the center. Now you have to go beyond this human awareness, to be the awareness of the spirit. And when you become the awareness of the spirit, that you should become, that you should ask for, that should be your goal. When you become that, then the whole picture becomes different. Because you can feel it yourself and understand what is right and wrong on your vibratory awareness, which is a new dimension within you. Even children, say take 10 children who are realized souls. If you ask them what's the matter with another person, they will immediately raise the same finger and say this is the matter. When you ask the person, have you got a very bad cold, cough or something, bronchitis, he'll say yes. If this hand is shown, that means all the left side, that means he's suffering from emotional trouble. You do not know anything about your chakras at all before realization. One must accept this. One has to accept whatever it is, there's nothing wrong in it. It's only your ego which stops not accepting. And then once you get your realization, you start feeling your different centers. You start feeling it, actually you start feeling it. And you start feeling the centers of others. Anyone who wants to know whether this person is evil or not is only to ask the question, and you can feel it. You can't even bear some of the horrible vibrations you get from people. Some of the Sahajogis tries for asking for some devilish people, and they got actual blisters, especially Mr. Hitler, whom we are supporting now. Actual blisters on the finger, actual blisters. This is what it is. After realization, your real absolute self comes in, because you become the spirit which is in the heart. The spirit resides in the heart, but this is the place of its seat. There are 7 seats in the head, and the seat of the spirit is here. When the Kundalini goes, it's just a very small thread of Kundalini rises, because there are lots of problems. And a very small, through the Brahma Nadi is the centralmost channel, it rises and opens this. When it opens it, the grace comes down. And when the grace comes down, you get completely relaxed, because it falls on both the sides, on the Ida and Pingala Nadi, which are the manifesting our left and right sympathetic nervous system. By which you feel first relaxed, thoughtless, and then when it is a little bit established, you start feeling the cool breeze, because your spirit has started manifesting, and you just feel a cool breeze like a wind coming into you. First you may feel tingling, heat, all that is going out. Sometimes people a little bit shake also, because if the nerves are not properly built up, if they do not have the strength to bear it, then it sometimes happens that you shake a little bit. Doesn't matter. After some time, you start sustaining it. It takes time into some people. In some people, it doesn't take time at all. It's the quality of your central path of Sushumna is important. If it is very simple, there's no problem, then the Kundalini takes no time. She's anxiously waiting. She's your mother. She's the pure desire within you, the power to become one with your spirit. Unless and until you achieve it, whatever you may try, you do anything you like, you spoil your Sushumna, but you'll have to get it, otherwise your seeking will not be over. You have to reach the place where you should say, I have found it. If you have not found the spirit, you will never be happy with any sort of thing you do. Anything you do, be kind to yourself, be gracious to yourself, and get your realization. This is a simple thing as a mother I would like to tell you. There's nothing to be done except by getting realization. But if you are an adamant person, and if you are employed by some of the gurus to come here, or you are running a lawyer's job for other gurus and all that, you cannot get realization. I am sorry you cannot get it, I cannot help it. But you have to identify with yourself and see to it that you want to have it, then only you will get it. If you do not have the desire to have it, you will not get it at any cost. You are not to be forced into it. Your freedom is completely respected. If your freedom is not respected, how are you going to enjoy the freedom of your spirit? So it is completely in your hand to be free to accept whether to get realization or not. Now, this chakra of Vishuddhi is very important, because there are 16 subplexuses which are looked after by it. For example, ear, nose, throat, all these things are looked after by the center of Shri Krishna. And this center has got 2 sides. One is the left, another is the right side. I have to talk about it because most of the people in the West somehow suffer from the left Vishuddhi. One of them is the reason maybe smoking. Right is more affected by smoking, but later on it goes to the left also. But I think the more important is that you people have developed a theory, I don't know how, that you have to be guilty for everything. Maybe it is from your childhood, you are brought up this way, don't spoil the carpet, don't spoil that, don't do this and don't do that. Maybe your confessions in the churches, maybe, I don't know what to blame, but it's a very good indulgence for people to sit down, so I should not have done this, I should not have done that, criticizing yourself and analyzing yourself. This is also a very good escape of egoistical people. They are egoistical, they dominate others, and then they sit down and weep on the left Vishuddhi. This left Vishuddhi is such a dangerous thing that it creates problems of the worst nature in human beings. For example, if you have, say, any cancerous growth within you, and if you have left Vishuddhi, it's going to be difficult to cure you. Because the escape of the Kundalini has to be through the Vishuddhi chakra. And the Vishuddhi chakra on the left-hand side is very important for the escape of all these tensions of the cancer. And if you have this kind of a bad habit of sitting down and indulging into this kind of a nonsensical thing, like sitting down like Lord Byron and reading some sort of a tragedy and making a tragedy out of you. It's a drama going on. What is there to be tragic about you? What's wrong with you? You are very rich people, you have everything. Still, why do you want to cry and weep? All the time you are in a crying mood. Why? God has given you so much. Do you ever say that? Count your blessings one by one. How many blessings you have got? You don't know. You are especially blessed people, especially in this Australia. I think you are especially blessed. But you want to show that you are extremely miserable. The worst are French in this, I would say. Because when I went to France, they said, Mother, never say that you are a happy person because they'll think you are not sensitive. I said, really? You think these French are very, very sensitive people? To what? Not to holiness. Not to purity. They are sensitive to God knows what. 10 feet you walk and you find a prostitute standing on the road. And about 10 feet you walk and you find 3 alcoholics lying on the street. These are sensitive people. Are they sensitive to their spirit? What are they sensitive to? What are they crying about? This is the very good thing that in the night you drink a lot, sleep with 10 women, and in the morning you feel guilty. Who has asked them to go into this kind of a mess? And then to come and sit down and cry, oh, I'm so guilty, I've done so wrong and so wrong. That's why I have to talk about it, that this center is very important also because it is the sister of Shri Krishna, Vishnu Maya, who rules it. The relationship between brother and sister is absolutely gone hayward in this country, in all the Western countries. For us Indians, we do not understand. Really, we cannot understand. And we cannot explain what it is. The other day only, we had a very interesting talk because 2 Indians have come with me, very, very great Sahajogis there. They said, Mother, why did they say that a girl cannot hold the hand of a girl? I said, you won't understand. He said, no, but we would like to know. I mean, you mean to say we should close all our schools, girls' schools in India? I mean, a girl can easily hold the hand of a girl, is much better. I said, why? These people say, you see, it's rather difficult for you to understand. No, he said, but one thing I can't understand, that if a girl holds the hand of a man, will that be a holier relationship? See the accent. They think, will it be holy to hold the hand of a man? It won't be. But a girl is a holy relationship. So this holy relationship is lost in the so-called ventures of the brains, you see. Like, you see, if you go and see in the zoo, if there's a wombat, it behaves like a wombat. See? If there's a monkey, it behaves like a monkey. If there's a tiger, it behaves like a tiger. But a human being, you put him in the zoo. You will see he'll eat up all the fruits, he'll cut down all the trees, he'll go to all the depths of it, and he'll break his nose, he'll lose his ears, he'll spoil his eyes. He cannot sit quietly. You give him a tree, he'll eat the fruit, he'll eat the seed, he'll have the bark inside himself, he'll have all the roots inside himself, he'll do whatever is possible. It's so horrid with this brain, the way it is moving all the time in this direction, that direction, that direction. It wants to bang on all the sides. For what? It cannot sit right. You see, when it is sitting for 5 minutes, it thinks it's a jail, it's boring. So he must go and do something very important. And what important thing he does is to really ruin himself. He must go to a pub, he must go to a friend, he must go somewhere. He will really ruin himself, all his holiness and all his sense of self-esteem. That's why we have no sense as to what is a sister. the relationship of a sister with other women. This is so much missing that to talk about it in England was impossible. They said this is a Victorian, even an earlier lady talking. See, they brand it. You are Victorian, you are Georgian, or you are... Anyway, everything moves according to the kings that ruled that horrible England, and the kings themselves being so horrible. And the kings themselves were such horrible things. I mean, I don't know how they were ideals for them. So you are branded as a Georgian or a this or a that. Whatever you say, you see, they cannot see the integration of anything. They just, one sentence they'll catch hold of, oh, this is absolutely Victorian. I said, all right, doesn't matter, but it's good, whether you like it or not. As if Victorian everything to be condemned, there must be something good about it also. This is how the whole outlook is of the people, all the time trying to brand others. What about yourself? What brand are you going to give yourself? That's the point nobody wants to see. What brand am I? What is my brand? I am a brat. That's what you are. Sometimes I feel so many people, the way they think, they have no sense. Like in the night, a nocturnal animal would dash into that and that into that. That's how they've broken themselves completely like mad. For what? Keep quiet. Be in the center. You had to just wait. It was going to happen. This is your own. You are the people who are searching the truth, for which it is all created. The whole scene is there. You have to just get it. Why are you breaking everything that God has given you? It's such a beautiful being He has created. You are the most beautiful person. Have you seen that when you go to the zoo, all the animals are looking at you? In the same way, they are looking forward to you. What have you got to give to them, I don't know. But once you get your realization, then you know the meaning of your being. Then you know what you are. And this is what one has to establish. We have really done lots of wrongs to ourselves by not understanding really self-estimation. One must know that you are the diamond, that you are the spirit, that you have to rise into the kingdom of God. You are specially made for this purpose. And right royal people you are, that you have to climb up there. Instead of that, you are lost into your egos and superegos, and frantically what you are doing is completely destroying all the chances of your ascent, which is so easily to be done. It's such a living force which is going to work out. It is not going to harm you in any way. It is for you only. It's all there. It is sahaja. It is within you. It is spontaneous. And it is going to work out. Only thing you have to know that you have not to treat yourself so shabbily and with such hatred towards yourself. There is no need to have such low opinion about yourself. This is the left side. The right side, of course, is of the people who talk big, you see, who say we say great politicians and things who just talk down people when they speak. They just dominate, and by their speech they control people. This is the center, right side. People who are hot-tempered and who lose temper and frighten people with their tempers, you see. They say such horrible things that people are just frightened of them, and just to keep them quiet, they manage somehow. This type of people have the right vishuddhi. They also have, when they have colds, coughs and all that, is a balance comes to them. When they have to talk too much also, they have to have this problem of right vishuddhi. And sometimes some people suddenly lose their voices, you see. When they talk too much, also they lose voices because the balance is created within them. Now the center one is that of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is the one who creates the witness within us. He's the one who refuted all kinds of formal, ritualistic things in religion. But he didn't become a hippie. That's one thing one should understand. That he didn't go to another extreme. You see, when he said that all these junks and formal things that are there, he didn't say that you take to drugs, another nonsensical formal thing. He said that if you have to get over these things, you have to see it as a drama. The whole thing is a joke going on. It's a drama going on. But for that you have to become is not a question of your achieving it by rational thinking. You have to go beyond your mind to achieve it. And that going beyond is done by the Kundalini. Now, if he did not do it, that does not mean that he was not in it. He was very much there. Like a painting you have, first you have the background, then you have another color, then you have your third color, now the fourth color, and now the time has come for the whole picture to be ready. Everybody has played their part, very important part in our evolution. Everyone is needed. Among you may be many who might be having a problem with Shri Krishna. Especially Hare Rama, Hare Krishna people, they suffer mostly from throat cancers. You can go and find out. Because they go against Krishna by taking his name so vainly. On Oxford Street they will stand with those things they get in the market, put them here, attach it here, and go on dancing, making mockery out of Shri Krishna's dignity, like that. And apart from that, they take a name unauthorized. Who has given them authority to take the name of Shri Krishna? They spoil this chakra doubly, because if you take two mantras, you spoil left Vishuddhi very badly. All those who have taken these so-called mantras have spoiled their left Vishuddhi. Because these mantras are not like one mantra to someone. I mean, are we only one chakra part of the chakras? And that too, like Thinga means this, and all these things, where are they within us? They ran short of the names, I think, so they started getting a hold of any names that they felt like, or they were sinister to give such horrible names to you. Left Vishuddhi you catch so badly. Mostly people who take to mantras, you will find when they speak, their lower jaw moves like this. They have difficulty in talking. They cannot talk properly. This is one of the things you'll find with them. They'll have pain in the left-hand side. They'll have pain at the back. This is the beginning of it. Any mantra given to you has to have logical meaning. It's a big science of mantra. It's not something nonsensical that you come here, I give you a flower, finished. It's a big science. You see how many deities there are. You must know where the problem is. It is like a Kundalini rising in its living power. You know that here is the obstruction. And you want to get rid of that obstruction, then you say there the password and you pass through. When the Kundalini has not started, what's the use of having a mantra? The Kundalini is frozen down there. And you are saying a mantra for a chakra. Now it would be something like this, that I am frozen in England and I am saying a password for a bridge here. It is absurd because you are so naive about it. Our Indian modern people also who think they are very westernized and sophisticated, they also are equally naive. They don't want to read anything about scriptures. They are not translated in English. They do not know anything about mantra vidya. The mantra has to be connected with your development in your Kundalini. Not only that, but it should relate to the movement of the Kundalini. It should be given by a person who is a realized soul, Jagrut, awakened. Mantra has to be awakened. And that you will find in Sahaja Yoga that it is such a temporary thing. For example, the Kundalini is stopping at this point. Now what is the mantra of this point? Lord's Prayer. Or I forgive. To make it short. That's the weapon Christ has given us, of forgiveness. At this point, which stops your thinking. But any dictum and Hari cannot do it. You have to have realization first. Then only because the Kundalini has reached there, you know that it is stopping there, then you have to say that, all right, this is Lord's Prayer. You say Lord's Prayer, it opens up. What is the mantra over here? Is Allahu Akbar. You put these fingers are of this center. You put them here and say Allahu Akbar 3 times, it will open up. But you have to be a realized soul to begin with, or the one who is telling you has to be realized soul. There has to be some authority from God, not from theological college or anything. It's a mockery to get knowledge of God in theological college. I mean, you must enter into the kingdom of God to know what He is, what it is like, what is His whole vidya, His knowledge. Divine knowledge is very different from the knowledge you have. Have you ever known that this is Vishuddhi Chakra before? You have never known this before, it's not written anywhere. Some things had to be told by me also. So this was left for me to be told. Now this chakra, of Vishuddhi chakra, gives you the witness state that Krishna has described, that you become the Sakshi. I would like you to also listen to my tape on Shri Krishna, which is very good. Recently I spoke about him in a very detailed manner about Gita also. You can have all these tapes brought down here to Melbourne and listen to them, but only listening to them is of no use. It's no use. It will give you ideas and you'll start behaving again in a funny way. I do not want you to make the same pickle out of me as you have pickled out other people. Put it to practice. Because when I spoke in America, they were all taping me down. And everybody said, Mother, you should not allow them to tape, because you see, these are all writers and this and that, and they will use your knowledge and spread the thing. I said, they will, let them do it. After all, Kundalini, I have to awaken. They cannot do it. If they could do, I would be very happy to sit down. Let them do it. I'll be very happy. Anybody who says that, why should you? I said, very good, you come along here and do it. I'll be very happy to settle down. Because I gain nothing. What is my gain? Anybody who is willing to do it, I'll be very happy to retire. Absolutely. Because by God's grace, I'm a married woman and I'm very happily married. I have my own children and grandchildren. Why should I bother my head of going around the people traveling like this? Yesterday in Sydney, here in Melbourne, today again go back to Sydney, then to India. Why should I do it? For what? Only because I love. Because I know it's my mission. I have to do it. I'm supposed to do it. This is the job I have. But if anybody else can do it, I'll be very happy for them to do it. Now, when it comes to all these awakening and all that, it's a thing that happens to you. It is a thing that moves within you. And you have to feel the movement. It is not a blind lane where you just pay some money in the counter and say, now we enter into the blind lane. And do what you like. Somebody says you jump, somebody says you do this and do that. Nothing. Everything is logical. First, your Kundalini must arise. If it does not arise, I cannot give you a certificate. You cannot give a certificate. Nobody can give you a certificate. It's nothing artificial. So in America, when I went and told them, and they had tape recorders and all that, something bad has also come out of it, because it's a born again. All these things have come from there, only from my lectures. Because I told the Christians when they called me, thinking me to be Christian in the churches, you see, they thought this is bona fide. Because I was baptized according to them. So I should be baptized by these people. So I am all right. I was bona fide. They called me in the churches. You see. And they also collected a collection for me. Very interesting. But the best part of it, some of them got up certain words. I said, you have to be born again, you have to be born again. So they have got a now cult called Born Again. Finished. It's very difficult to talk to these mad people. Anything you tell them, they make a cult out of it. Anything you know, they want to pickle out. You see, it's such a difficult thing with human beings. They don't want to take to reality. They want to have their ego everywhere asserting, by which they pluck out all that is living and make that dead ugly and say, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. It's absurd. But this is what happens to us. Now about Christ, I think the greatest message of Christ is his resurrection. This is resurrection. That he showed what Krishna has said in his lifetime, that the spirit doesn't die. It cannot be killed. It cannot be blown out. It has to rise. And it rises. Whatever you may try, it is eternal. And that's what Christ has proved by his resurrection. But by his resurrection, he has achieved a great thing, which Hindus do not know. And the Christians have not carried the message, because they also do not know. The greatest thing that he has done to our awareness is that if you pass through that center, your karmas are sucked, your sins are forgiven. This is the beauty he has created within us, by which our ego is sucked in self. He sucks our ego. He is the sucker of our ego. But all the Christian nations are the greatest ego-oriented people. It's very difficult to talk to them. First thing they will do is to box your nose. if not crucify you. They're extremely aggressive people, extremely aggressive and very ignorant. They are so naive, so naive. In India, it's not so difficult to talk to them because they know what is knowledge. I mean, they know what is Kundalini. They know what is rising of the Kundalini. They know who can do this. It's not difficult to talk to them, but the people are so naive in spiritual life. And then they are so ego-oriented, despite the fact that Christ is the one who is the sucker of your ego. He is the one who sucks your ego, so there is no karmas after realization. You become the spirit. Spirit does not have any karmas, it's a myth, which is sucked. And this is what Christ has done for us. So when Christians, so-called, came to India, they converted people in such a crude method by putting a loaf in the well. If the poor Indians said that, they were naive as far as the Christianity was concerned. They said this was the meat of the cows. You are all finished, you are Christians. So the whole village became Christians. Like that, they tried all dirty tricks on Indians and they all became Christians. So Indian Christians are the worst of all. Poor things, they think they are so condemned forever. Now they can never be reconverted or they can never be realized. They cannot be resurrected. They are doomed people who have eaten the cow's meat. Not they, but their forefathers might. It is such a wretched state. But if any realized soul had come, they would have seen that this is what Christ was supposed to do, which is written in the Devi Bhagavad, that he is the support of the universe. But the narrow visions of Christians and the narrow visions of Hindus and the narrow visions of Muslims have made such a mess that the time has come to get the whole picture, the complete integration of all these great incarnations who are within you, and to understand them in reality, what they are, and becoming yourself such a wider personality as a collective being. About Christ, I don't know, I must have spoken hours and hours. About Krishna, I must have spoken for hours to hours. In England, also we have about 300 to 400 tapes on different subjects which you should get and listen to that. But again, do not make it a big library for you, please. It is to be actualized, it is to be felt, it is to be practiced within yourself. It is not for giving you any big knowledges. We have a book called Advent, which is written by a French Sahajogi, which is a very beautiful book. But we do not sell it to people who are not realized. We do not. Because it is very difficult for a person who is not realized to bear the truth. That's why they crucified Christ. That's why they tortured Muhammad. That's why they tortured all the saints, because they could not bear the truth. Their ego could not bear it. So we do not give those books to people who are not realized. If you are realized, then you can order for your copy. You can get the book, but you otherwise cannot get it. I'm sorry, we have certain experiences, and we deal on those experiences that unless and until human beings are realized, they are not going to value their divine life. They'll value anything else but their divinity. And here you do not pay a single pie. So there's no binding force. Like many people say, I said, why are you still doing these things? They said, we have paid for it, so let us go through it. Even it is hell, you go through it. That's the mentality. Now here there is nothing paid. There's no attachment. It's your freedom seeking, which is the attachment. If you are really a seeker, you'll go deep into it and have the blessings. Have the beauty of that spirit which is within you, which you can have. The time has come. This was the time was promised. It's talked about in John's Revelation. Also in many of the Indian scriptures it is described. The best is William Blake, who has described it very beautifully. In his book called Milton, even the place where I lived first, Surrey Hills, he has said the first beacons will be lit in Surrey Hills. He has also said where our ashram is, that in the ruins of Lambeth Vale, the foundations will be laid come to Lambeth Vale, and he says that it will be a Jerusalem one day. England will be a Jerusalem. That's what he has said. It's a very interesting book, Milton. If you can get hold of it, please read it. It's all described. It describes everything, even the vibrations that her looms vibrate the sinews. It's a Jerusalem now because people come for Sahaja Yoga. There are some very good Muslims we have, young people, who just found in their own country that fundamentally start taking the rule and they are behaving in such a fanatic manner. They thought that if God is such a fanatic nonsense, then better give him up. And they wanted to become communist, and they had taken to communism to a point. When one of them came down to London, and somehow he happened to come to us, where he got his realization. After realization, he knew that it is one extreme is fanaticism, another extreme is denial of God. God is there, but in the center. He went back, he got 500 people realized who are Muslims. And now they come to London. His mother wanted to go to Makkah. Makkah is also, according to us, is a very great pilgrimage, no doubt, because Muhammad Sahib was really very great, and he was the incarnation of the primordial master, which can be proved on your Kundalini. All things that I am saying can be proved on your Kundalini, and you can see for yourself. It's absolutely practical for you to see. Now when he came to, his mother wanted to go to Makkah, she told that now why do you want to go to Mecca? Now Mecca has shifted to London, better go to London. That's what it is. One has to realize that when we talk of anyone like Christ or Moses or Abraham or Muhammad or anyone, you should know they are all related to each other, while we are identified with one or the other. Let us identify ourselves with all of them through understanding of Kundalini. You'll be amazed when the Kundalini rises. If somebody is a Muslim, he has to take the name of Nanaka, otherwise the Kundalini doesn't rise. All the fanatics have to give up their fanaticism before the Kundalini rises. And even if their Kundalini rises and gives them realization, they are again sucked back into their fanatic pouches. So all these things will only disappear, all these relative things will disappear as soon as you find your absolute, that is your spirit. About the spirit, I'm sorry I cannot talk in such a small time. But there's a very good tape on Satchidanand, that is the spirit. And it's best is to listen to that, because I would do no honor to your spirit if I just finish it in 2 minutes or 3 minutes like that. It's a very wide subject and very beautiful, most enjoyable to know about your own spirit, about yourself, that truly you are, not this body, not this mind, not this ego, neither these conditionings and these all ideas you have, conceptions. You are what you are. Thank you very much. Now I'm going away to India on the 8th, and tomorrow there's a good program in Sydney. And 8th I'll be leaving, and then I'll be in India for a short time and going back to London. Maybe next year I'll be coming here. I would request you that you must attend your collective programs, because the message of Sahaja Yoga is collectivity. If you take my photograph and meditate at home, after some time you'll find you'll lose vibrations. You will not grow. You have to grow collectively. It's very important that all of you should grow together collectively. Collectiveness must be developed. Otherwise, you must work it out, how it works on others, and how you cure others, and how you help others is to be seen. Some people will be coming from Melbourne, or from Sydney to Melbourne in the beginning, till you understand Sahaja Yoga, and then they will go away. Of course, there is no money, nothing involved. As you see, we have started in a very small way. Now, when next time I come, I'm sure Melbourne will be a seat of very good Sahaja Yogis, not doubting but understanding. Doubting doesn't give you much chance. You see, what is there to doubt is nothing but your ego is doubting something. There is nothing to doubt. Just come and see, this is a new university into which you have entered. You don't have to pay anything, that's all. Where you have to pay, you do not doubt and ask questions. I know you go headlong, but here you are free. You have freedom to doubt. But do not pull it too fast, because it will spoil your chances of realization. May God bless you.